Basically, in a nutshell, in season 1 of Grimm, my boyfriend on the show, Nick Burkhart, finds out from his aunt that he's actually a descendant of the Grimms, which means that he's kind of innately a criminal profiler. And all of these monsters start coming out of the woodwork called Vessin, and these creatures, and he spends most of the first season having to hide this from me because he doesn't know what's going to happen when. And most of season 1, he's having to tiptoe around me and hide this truth from me, because telling his girlfriend that all of a sudden he can see monsters, he's obviously assuming that I'm going to think he's crazy. For most of the beginning of the season, Juliette doesn't know anything. She's curious and perplexed and worrying that maybe he's cheating on her, and she has no idea what's going on with him. And then slowly she starts to piece things together as much as she can, obviously not necessarily assuming that Nick is seeing monsters. She knows that something's up that's definitely big and heavy. And at a certain point towards the end of the season, this woman, Adeline, comes into play, and she ends up bringing her cat into my veterinary practice, and the cat scratches me and poisons me. And in the last episode of the season, Nick finally decides that he has to tell Juliette the truth, no matter what my reaction is going to be. And right before Monroe morphs to prove it to me that he's not crazy, I pass out and I fall into a coma. And that's where we left off season 1. Essentially, the finale, the season 1 finale episode, the fairy tale is Sleeping Beauty, and Juliette is Sleeping Beauty, and she ends up sick and in a coma. And the question is how and why and what is going to bring me out of a coma at some point in season 2. Yeah, I'll definitely, I will be working with Mary Elizabeth Mastro-Antoni, and I'm really looking forward to that because I've been a huge fan of hers forever. It was one of my favorite movies when I was little, was the Kevin Costner and the Robin Hood that she was in. And what I can promise as far as what's going to start happening in season 2 is they're going to get deeper and deeper into the mythology, and everything is just going to be bigger and badder, and the creatures are going to be even scarier and more impressive, and some of the fairy tales we have coming up are definitely really cool. In season 2, we're still sort of expanding upon the whole Sleeping Beauty storyline, and there's a really, really impressive, freaky, scary monster that pops up in the first 2 episodes of season 2. But one of the main storylines is that Nick, met his mother, who he thought was dead all these years, at the very end of season 1. And so obviously it's a very sort of tenuous and tricky thing, meeting each other again and being around each other, and all of those feelings that kind of pop up with, I kind of hate you, but I love you so much, but why did you leave me? And there's a lot of questions that he has for her.